You're welcome. We want to talk about deep penetrative sex, the tips and the secret to make it so good. There are so many ways to enjoy sex, and one of the best being the deep penetration. This sex move will amplify your pleasure and, of course, enhance your intimacy with your partner. How is that possible? Here is how. Let us go. What is deep penetrative sex? Very simply, when it comes to sex, deep penetration refers to the act of going as far as possible into the vagina or anus with a penis, with fingers, or sex toys. And the idea is to often stimulate deeper erogenous zones to increase your sexual pleasure. And we want to talk about the psychology of deep penetration. Let's dig deep into the bedrock of psychology to uncover the science behind the deep connection when we're talking about deep penetrative sex. So, what does oxytocin do? Mirrors neuron and intimacy versus surface level connection. What do they have to do with deep penetration? A whole lot, friends. A whole lot, I repeat. Number one, when we're talking about oxytocin, the love hormone and its role, remember that euphoric, cuddly feeling you get after an intimate session with your partner. That's oxytocin, the feeling, the loving of it. That's oxytocin doing a happy dance in your brain. When you are loving, is the oxytocin in play. Or we often refer to it as love hormone. Oxytocin is released in large quantity during deep penetration, amping up your emotional closeness to your partner. Another point, mirror neurons. How do they facilitate emotional connection? Do you know that you start mimicking the slang and mannerisms of your partner after spending enough time together? You understand? You start, feeling during deep penetration, when you are both literally and metaphorically in tune, mirror neurons can accentuate your emotional connection. And what does it do? Making the experience profoundly more intimate than you think. Another point, intimacy versus surface level connection. What distinguishes the two? Number one, you could have a one-night stand, or you could have the soul-gripping, eye-locking moment of deep penetration with someone you are emotionally connected to. Both are forms of human connection. But I want you to know, but one goes beyond the surface level. You understand? But the other is just, deep, more than you can think. All the ways the penetration can push you over the edge. Sex in general feels great, but if you start implementing deep penetration regularly, you may realize there is a huge difference between deep penetration and other type of sex. Here is how it works to push you over the edge. Number one, more types of orgasm requires depth. That's right. There is more than just your G-spot and clit orgasm. There are actually two more zones that can make a woman reach orgasm. And where are they located? They are located much deeper, and even deeper than the G-spot is the A-spot, or we call it the anterior fornix of the uterus. The cervix actually has many pleasure receptors, and this is how you can have a cervix orgasm. And having this orgasm this way is actually very, very rare. And that's because most women don't know they can do it this way. But I'm telling you right now, because the fornix is located very high in the woman's vagina on the front wall. That is why it only eats with deep penetration. You can only, when it's not deep, it doesn't get there. And you don't usually have deep penetration. This is just the truth. If you are not someone who has deep penetrative sex often, it will feel very, very different or awkward to you, because your body is not used to the depth of penetration. It is not accustomed to it, and that means it might be much easier for the woman to reach orgasm. And of course, another point, it fosters a feeling of emotional closeness to your partner. There is an attachment. Doing it right. The most important tips and secret that I want to talk about. We all have heard the adage, practice makes perfect. You understand? When you keep doing. But when it comes to deep penetration, it is more like practice makes pleasure. Establishing emotional safety is one of the tips and the secret we want to do. Before you venture into the depth, you have got to make sure that the waters are safe. Emotional safety set the stage for vulnerability and openness. These are crucial elements for a fulfilling experience of deep penetration. Active listening when engaging in deep penetration is very, very important. You have to listen, tune into your partner's verbal and non-verbal cue. Make sure you're on the same page. This empathic exchange allows for adjustment and enriches the experiment or the experience, turning good sex into mind-blowing intimacy for you and your partner. Number 3, sensate focus. This is all about being in the moment. Sensate focus encourages couple to explore touch and sensation. And you got to apply this principle during deep penetration by not just aiming for the climax, but savoring every sensation, every moment leading up to it. Then another point, build up to it. Rushing to the main event, no. Hold your horses. The tissues in the inner canal and the vagina too need time to relax and expand. So start with shallow penetration or other forms of foreplay. You understand? Then when you do that, the anticipation itself can be a psychological aphrodisiac. You understand? Something like that, getting you ready all the way. Go slowly. Don't treat the penetration like a sprint. It is a marathon where pacing is the key. Going slowly allows time for both partners to adjust and for the love hormone, which is called the oxytocin, to do its magic, making the eventual depth even more pleasurable. And for the girl or the ladies, wiggle around while it's deep. Once you have the maximum depth, small movement can make a world of difference. Change up the speed, variety. Of course, they say, well, is the spice of life. And deep penetration, changing the speed, keeps the nervous system on its toes, metaphorically speaking. And when we're talking about that, this variation can lead to heightened state of pleasure. And of course, alternate between deep and shallow penetration. You just have to be alternating it to prevent pain, So make sure you are on the same page with your partner. Deep penetrating sex is the end thing, is the big deal. See you in the next video.